Hey, joining us now on the program, we have our New York Bureau Chief, Chris Edling, here to tell us about the most pressing and important stories confronting the Jewish people. Christopher, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you both doing?
Looking great.
Looking good. He does.
Tell us, Chris, what are the most important issues confronting the Jewish people this week?
Well, our top story this week is out of the UK. There has been a sharp rise in Jew-on-Jew crimes in several communities across the UK.
What kind of Jews?
Yeah, Orthodox, conservative?
Well, it's a very interesting case. So it seems that there is a rise in gambling among several Orthodox Jewish communities in the UK. And as a result, I'm not pointing any fingers.
I'm not Orthodox.
Yeah. So as a result of all of this gambling, a lot of Jewish people, specifically young men, have been motivated to thieve and burgle people in their communities.
And they're thieving and burglaring other Jews?
That's correct. The way it was explained by one of the detectives who has been investigating these cases is that, you have these young men in the Jewish communities, and they know when people, for example, are not going to be home. They know when people are at synagogue and so on and so forth. So they know the most opportune times to steal cars, to break into homes and things like that.
So these young Orthodox Jewish people are breaking into holy religious places and stealing things and selling them so that they can feed their gambling habit.
The most popular game is poker. They say a lot of these young men who are in their teens and early 20s like to play poker, but they also visit casinos, and apparently there are all manner of gambling going on.
One last comment on this. Manchester we talk about it a lot on the show because it has very high rates, high incidences of anti-Semitism. It's a very anti-Semitic town.
Yeah, I mean, not only does it have high rates of anti-Semitism, in general it has a very high crime rate. It's not uncommon for people in these neighborhoods to be victim of theft or burglaring or things like this. What's interesting about this story is that it's specifically Jewish people victimizing other Jews.
What's our next story, Chris? I'm having speech problems today.
This is just since yesterday, actually.
Really?
That he
Can't get the words out.
He can't get the words out. It happened to him on stage, and he should see a speech therapist.
Oh my God! I wanted to do a joke yesterday. I say that my mother's not a very good cook. She makes two signature dishes: salmonella and dysentery. Right? That's the joke. And I couldn't get. I messed up salmonella so bad. The joke, nothing.
Right.
Not even a giggle. But anyway, what's the next story,
Chris? I should have
Chris?
told it. That's why.
You will.
Our other top story this week is out of Michigan. A 19-year-old Michigan State student who claimed that he was a victim of hate crime, it turns out actually is not a victim of hate crime. So the way this came down was apparently the young man was at a party, and according to several eyewitnesses, he was acting inappropriately, and he ended up getting punched in the face and had his jaw broken. Now, when he was talking to police initially after the crime, he had claimed that what actually happened was some guys who were, talking about Nazism and members of the KKK or expressing some sort of allegiance like this, had actually singled him out because he was Jewish. They said, "Hey, are you Jewish?" And he said yes, and then they attacked him. But according to several eyewitnesses, the police in this case actually interviewed something like 50 witnesses or 50 people who were involved, and nobody confirmed that this guy was victimized because he was Jewish. They all, kind of said he was being a jerk and maybe got what was coming to him.
Yeah, I hate to hear stories about false claims of hate crimes or anti-Semitism. Obviously,
or domestic violence.
No, but clearly he was a victim of a crime. He got beat up. Even if you're acting like a.
Sometimes you need it.
You can't just beat someone up because they're acting like a jerk. But is there any sort of legal? What kind of legal predicament is he in by saying it was a hate crime when it wasn't? Is that something that has legal repercussions?
Does that change the game?
In this case, the prosecutor has decided to not pursue this young man, saying because it was a false claim of a hate crime. He said, given the circumstances, we should just let this whole issue go and, just sort of let everyone return to their lives. There are charges. I mean, he was assaulted. I mean, that claim isn't false. It's just the aspect of, this ethnic or religious element that ended up not really holding water. So in this case, he's not going to be prosecuted for making a false claim, but under other circumstances, that might be possible.
They said that they stapled his mouth. Is that part of the story? They stapled his mouth shut?
That is a scene out of Criminal Minds.
That seems a bit...
Don't talk about that. My husband might get ideas.
No, I'm just saying this kid was beaten pretty badly.
That's the most important thing. You should have said they stapled his mouth. That's something that's interesting.
Obviously,
a false claim is not interesting. Your lips being stapled together, that's a story.
I'm saying he was already assaulted.
He waits till the end of the interview to talk about stapled lips.
Something so bad happened to this kid, and even though he has now
he must be a
lost
real
some
jerk.
credibility, he must
be a real
what
jerk.
What was
has
he
a big
doing?
Mouth.
What was he doing that inspired someone to staple his mouth shut?
According to some sources, this man was harassing some girls at the party and behaving inappropriately with them.
All right, Chris, thank you so
much.
much. New York Bureau Chief Chris Edling.
Yes,
there he is,
man.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
we
you.
will be right back.